Can you believe what we witnessed last night? Was it a hockey game or a gladiatorial arena where the rules of engagement were tossed aside like a broken stick? When does the pursuit of victory cross the line into outright malice, especially when the future of the game's brightest young stars hangs in the balance? Welcome, hockey fanatics, to an exclusive report that pulls back the curtain on a preseason clash that was anything but exhibition. We're talking about a night where the ice became a canvas for chaos, where tempers flared hotter than a Zamboni on fire, and where a reckless act against a rising star has ignited a firestorm of debate across the league. This isn't just about a game. It's about the very soul of hockey, the fine line between fierce competition and dangerous disregard. Last night, the Montreal Canadiens and Ottawa Senators didn't just play a hockey game in Quebec City, they waged war. And at the heart of this explosive encounter was an incident that has left fans seething and the NHL's Department of Player Safety reaching for their rulebook. We're talking about the egregious stick-swinging incident involving Ottawa's Nick Cousins and Montreal's dazzling rookie, Ivan Demidov. A moment that, for many, epitomized everything wrong with the night's proceedings and cast a dark shadow over what should have been a celebration of burgeoning talent. The NHL has spoken, and the verdict is in. Nick Cousins has been slapped with the maximum allowable fine under the collective bargaining agreement, a hefty $2,148.44 for his vicious slash on Demidov. But is a monetary penalty truly enough to deter such reckless behavior? And what does this incident, alongside a litany of other infractions, tell us about the simmering animosity between these two storied franchises as they gear up for what promises to be an unforgettable season? Join us as we dissect every bone-jarring hit, every heated exchange, and every controversial decision from a game that will undoubtedly be etched into the annals of this rivalry. We'll explore the implications for player safety, the message this sends to young prospects, and what it means for the next time these two teams meet, which, by the way, is just around the corner. This is more than just a recap. It's an investigation into the passion, the peril, and the undeniable drama that makes hockey the greatest game on earth. Let's cut straight to the heart of the matter, the moment that sent a collective gasp through the hockey world and ignited the fury of Canadiens fans everywhere. It was 7:22 into the third period, a period already simmering with tension, when Ottawa's Nick Cousins delivered a brutal, unnecessary slash to the wrist of Montreal's 19-year-old phenom, Ivan Demidov. This wasn't a glancing blow in the heat of battle. This was a targeted strike, a deliberate act that sent the young Russian sensation reeling off the ice, clutching his wrist in obvious agony. Imagine the scene. Demidov, a player whose preseason performances have been nothing short of electrifying, a beacon of hope for the Canadiens' future, suddenly reduced to a figure of pain and vulnerability. The sight of him leaving the ice, his night prematurely ended, was a stark reminder of the fragility of a hockey career and the devastating impact of reckless play. Coach Martin St. Louis, a man known for his calm demeanor, didn't mince words after the game. His voice, usually measured, carried a palpable edge of indignation. "There's no need for that," St. Louis declared, his frustration echoing the sentiments of countless fans. "It's an exhibition game. Both teams are trying to get ready for a long season." St. Louis's statement wasn't just a coach defending his player, it was a veteran of the game, a Hall of Famer, calling out a blatant disregard for player safety and the spirit of competition. Preseason is about finding your rhythm, building chemistry, and shaking off the rust. It is emphatically not about taking cheap shots at promising rookies. The NHL's Department of Player Safety clearly agreed, handing Cousins the maximum fine. But for many, including this reporter, a fine, even the maximum, feels like a slap on the wrist for an act that could have had far more severe consequences for Demidov's burgeoning career. It raises the uncomfortable question, does the punishment truly fit the crime when a player's health and future are on the line? The Cousins-Demidov incident, while the most egregious, was merely the crescendo in a symphony of shoves, slashes, and outright brawls that defined Tuesday night's contest. This wasn't just a heated game, it was a full-blown melee, a throwback to an era of hockey that many thought had been relegated to the history books. The stat sheet tells a chilling story. A staggering 150 minutes in penalties, 9 major penalties, and 8 misconducts. Let that sink in for a moment. In a preseason game, this wasn't a playoff grudge match. This was an exhibition that devolved into an all-out street fight. From the opening puck drop, it was clear this wasn't going to be your typical tune-up. In the first period, Florian Shakaj and Jan Jenik dropped the gloves at center ice, setting a tone of aggression that would only escalate. But it was the ongoing saga between Ottawa's Zach Maswan and Montreal's Arbor Shakaj that truly captured the raw, visceral animosity. These two heavyweights engaged in multiple altercations throughout the game, their battles a microcosm of the larger war being waged on the ice. Every hit was harder, every word exchanged more venomous. The violence wasn't confined to the fists either. In the second period, Jan Jenik emerged from a scrap with defenseman Jaden Struble with blood smeared across his face, a grim testament to the ferocity of the exchanges. And just when you thought the chaos couldn't possibly intensify, the third period delivered another gut punch. Donovan Sabrango, in a moment of inexplicable recklessness, jumped Kirby Dach from behind, sparking yet another brawl and gifting the Canadiens a 7-minute power play. It was a play that screamed frustration, desperation, and a complete loss of composure. This wasn't just a game where tempers flared. It was a game where the very fabric of sportsmanship seemed to unravel. The question isn't just what happened, but why? Why, in a preseason game, did these two teams descend into such a brutal display? Was it the intensity of the rivalry, bubbling over after a long summer? Or was it something more, a dangerous precedent being set for the season ahead? Amidst the pandemonium and the parade to the penalty box, it's crucial not to lose sight of the talent that was on display, particularly from the young players who are the future of this league. Ivan Demidov, before his unfortunate exit, was showcasing exactly why he's considered one of the most exciting prospects in hockey. He had already notched 2 assists, demonstrating his elite vision, puck-handling prowess, and offensive instincts. His presence on the ice was a stark contrast to the ugliness unfolding around him, a glimpse of the beautiful game amidst the brutality. The relief that swept through the Canadiens organization and their fan base when Coach St. Louis provided an update on Demidov's condition was palpable. "I'm not concerned about Demidov's situation heading into the regular season next week," St. Louis confirmed, effectively quashing fears of a long-term injury. This news is a victory in itself, a testament to the resilience of these athletes, and perhaps a stroke of luck that the slash didn't result in a more catastrophic outcome. But it doesn't erase the memory of the incident or the potential harm it could have caused. Demidov's situation highlights a critical issue, the protection of young talent. These players are the future of the NHL, the stars who will captivate audiences for years to come. Reckless acts like Cousins' slash not only jeopardize individual careers, but also threaten the integrity and appeal of the sport. It's a delicate balance. Hockey is a physical game, a contact sport where intensity is celebrated. But there's a clear line between hard-nosed play and dangerous, unsportsmanlike conduct. When that line is crossed, especially against a player like Demidov who represents the league's bright future, the consequences must be swift and meaningful. Let's not forget Hayden Hodgson's fine for boarding Alex Newhook earlier in the game. While perhaps less dramatic than the Demidov incident, it further underscores a pattern of disregard for player safety that permeated the Senators' play. These aren't isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a larger problem that the league must address with unwavering resolve. This wasn't just a preseason game, it was a declaration. A declaration that the rivalry between the Montreal Canadiens and the Ottawa Senators is not just alive, but absolutely thriving, burning with an intensity that belies the exhibition status. For years, these two teams have battled for supremacy in the Atlantic Division, their contests often marked by speed, skill, and a healthy dose of animosity. But Tuesday night's game felt different. It felt like a new chapter, written in blood and penalty minutes, a chapter that promises an even more explosive narrative for the season ahead. The Canadiens, despite the chaos, emerged victorious with a dominant 5-0 shutout, showcasing their offensive firepower with goals from Oliver Kapanen, Patrick Lane, Alexander Carrier, Lane Hudson, and Kirby Doc. The win, however, feels almost secondary to the sheer ferocity of the contest. It's a victory that comes with a lingering question: what will happen when these two teams meet again? And meet again they will very soon. This Saturday in Montreal for their final preseason game. The anticipation for that rematch is already reaching fever pitch. Will the Senators seek retribution for the lopsided score? Will the Canadiens respond to the physical challenge with renewed vigor? Or will both teams, having made their statements, revert to a more disciplined, albeit still intense style of play? This rivalry has always been about more than just points in the standings. It's about regional pride, bragging rights, and a deep-seated desire to outmuscle and outwit your opponent. Tuesday night's game has only poured gasoline on that fire. It set the stage for a regular season series that promises to be appointment viewing, a series where every hit, every goal, and every penalty will be scrutinized with heightened intensity. The question now is, can these teams channel this raw emotion into competitive, exciting hockey, or will the line between passion and peril continue to blur? The NHL's swift action in fining Cousins and Hodgson sends a clear message: reckless play will not be tolerated. But as we've discussed, for many, a fine, even the maximum, feels insufficient given the potential for serious injury. The league constantly grapples with the balance between preserving the physical nature of hockey and protecting its players. Incidents like the one involving Demidov force a re-evaluation of that balance. What kind of message does this send to young players coming up through the ranks? That even in preseason, you need to be constantly on guard against cheap shots? Or that the league will protect you, even if the punishment seems light? It's a complex issue with no easy answers. The game is faster, stronger, and more skilled than ever before. With that increased intensity comes an even greater responsibility for players to respect their opponents and the rules of the game. The onus is not just on the players, but on the coaches and organizations to instill a culture of discipline and respect. Coach St. Louis's comments were a perfect example of a leader advocating for the integrity of the game. It's about preparing for a long season, not ending one prematurely for a rival. The hope is that this incident, while ugly, serves as a wake-up call, a stark reminder that while rivalries are essential to the sport's allure, player safety must always remain paramount. The future of hockey depends on it. So, as the dust settles on what was arguably the most contentious preseason game in recent memory, we're left with a potent mix of indignation, anticipation, and a renewed appreciation for the raw, untamed spirit of hockey. The slash on Ivan Demidov was a stark, unwelcome reminder of the dangers lurking beneath the surface of even an exhibition game. Yet, amidst the chaos, the Canadiens' young talent shone through, a beacon of hope for a franchise on the rise. This wasn't just a game, it was a statement. A statement about the enduring ferocity of the Canadian Senators' rivalry, a statement about the fine line between passion and peril, and a statement about the ongoing challenge of balancing physicality with player safety. The fines have been levied, the outrage has been voiced, and now, all eyes turn to Saturday's rematch. Will it be another explosion of animosity, or a more disciplined display of skill? One thing is certain, you won't want to miss it. Now, we want to hear from you, the passionate fans who live and breathe this game. What are your thoughts on the NHL's decision regarding Nick Cousins? Do you think the fine was sufficient, or should there have been a stronger message sent? And what are your predictions for Saturday's rematch between these two fierce rivals? Let us know in the comment section below. Your insights and opinions fuel the conversation. If you found this report as electrifying as the game itself, smash that like button, share it with your fellow hockey enthusiasts, and make sure you're subscribed to our channel for all the latest, most engaging hockey analysis. Until next time, keep your sticks on the ice and your eyes on the puck.